Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all. So today I'm supposed to give you a lecture on granulomatous lesions. Okay. Okay. In this lecture, first we will go through the definitions of the chronic granulomatous inflammation, and then we will see the morphological features, histological features of these granulomatous inflammations, and we will go through the types and causes of granulomatous inflammation, and next is the pathogenesis of the inflammations of the lesions. Okay, and then within this lecture also, I will try to touch a little bit more on Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Why do I want to talk more on Mycobacterium tuberculosis? First, because tuberculosis is actually the leading infectious fatal disease in the world. The infectious agent in TB is Mycobacterium tuberculosis complex. The most prevalence of the complex is which is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. The transmission is via airborne droplets contaminated with this Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So, as we are in this um, the dental setting poses an environment conducive for transmissions by aerosols. So, it's very important for us to know about Mycobacterium tuberculosis infection. Okay? And caseating granuloma is also the hallmark of the TB, and tuberculosis can manifest in the head and neck as a persistent lump and enlarged lymph node and ulcer. Okay, and then we will touch a bit on other causes of granulomatous inflammations. Beside the other types, we also have leprosy, syphilis, sarcoidosis, and Wagner granulomatosis. Okay, so chronic granulomatous inflammations. Uh, the distinctive pattern of chronic inflammations is actually type 4 hypersensitivity, which is, we all know, cell-mediated immune response. And the predominant cells is actually activated macrophage, which we call the epithelioid macrophages because it's OID, see, epithelial OID is a modified epithelial-like appearance of the macrophages. It is very important for us to recognize this pattern since it's a limited number of possible conditions which may cause it, and those conditions are clinically significant, especially in our practice. Okay, how's the histological features, morphological features of granulomatous inflammation? Of course, it's characterized by granuloma, but first you need to know what is granuloma. Okay, granuloma is a focal collections or aggregations of epithelioid macrophages that are surrounded by rim of mononuclear leukocytes. Okay, this is the rim of mononuclear leukocytes, and then you can see the epithelioid macrophages, uh, which how you characterize the epithelioid macrophages. It have the it can have the elongated elongated nuclei or oval shaped nuclei, and then some may have folding of nuclear membrane. Um, yeah, if it's like this, then you can see it's like a normal macrophages, right? But this one looks more like epithelial. Okay, so when you want to know how epithelial look like, you need to know how epithelial cells actually look like. Because if you can see, you see this, you can see this is macrophages, and this is epithelial-like macrophages, and it has pale pink granular cytoplasm, and indistinct cell boundaries. You can see it's like almost pinkish. Yeah, and then the rim is principally lymphocytes, and sometimes you can see plasma cells. Again, another histological features, epithelioid cells may coalesce to form multinucleated giant cells, like in this feature. And then you say it's multinucleated giant cells because it contain 20 or more nuclei in this case, and it's can arrange within this picture. It's arranged at the peripheral, which we call Langhans type my Langhans type multinucleated giant cells, and we can also have the foreign body type, which the nucleus is arranged haphazardly. Okay. And central necrosis may also be present in some types of granulomas, and within this case, you have this part of central necrosis. This is a case from the typical tuberculous granuloma. This is again another granuloma. You can see the Langhans type multinucleated giant cells with a peripheral located nucleus. You can see the epithelioid cells, the epithelioid macrophages. This is again giant cells. This is giant cells, epithelioid macrophages with pinkish cytoplasm, and you can see the lymphocyte rimming. Okay, sorry, the rimming of the lymphocytes in this granuloma. And this case, yeah, different from the other pictures is you don't have the central necrosis. Okay, this is a case from a sarcoidosis with lung involvement. Okay. Again, in a bit higher magnification, casseting granuloma in case of pulmonary tuberculosis, you can appreciate this is the central necrosis, and then you can see the epithelioid macrophages and also the lymphocyte rimming. Okay. Another histological features of casseting tuberculous granuloma, this is a bit uh, a bit huge areas of caseous necrosis compared to the earlier one that I show you. Okay, this is huge area of caseous necrosis, and then this is the Langhans type of giant cells. Okay, so what are the types of granulomatous inflammation? There are two types. One is the immune granuloma, and the other one is the foreign body granuloma. So these two types are differs in their pathogenesis. Okay, immune granuloma. It is caused by particle that resist killing and or degradations. Okay, resist killing and or degradations that are capable of inducing a cell's mediated immune response. In this case, that epithelioid giant epithelioid macrophages, and these macrophages transform into epithelioid cells and multinucleated giant cells. Okay, the immune granuloma can cause by living organism, um, like in tuberculosis by the bacteria. It also can be caused by the fungal and also parasites. Okay, what are the organisms that cause granulomatous inflammation? For bacteria, we have the Mycobacterium tuberculosis in tuberculosis. We have Mycobacterium leprae in tuberculoid leprosy, and also Bartonella henselae in cat scratch disease, and Treponema pallidum, which we discussed earlier in a previous lecture, which in gamma in syphilis. You still remember what gamma is, right? Okay, the next organism is fungi. You can have Cryptococcus neoformans in Cryptococcus and Sporotix shenski in Sporotrichosis. Okay, and also these parasites, which can also cause granulomatous inflammations. It's very hard to pronounce. Schistosoma mansoni and Hematobium in schistosomiasis. Okay, we can also have unknown etiological agents, which the histological shown before, such as in sarcoidosis, which is probably autoimmune response. Okay. The next type is the granulomas caused by foreign body granuloma. Okay. In foreign body granuloma, it does not incite any inflammatory or immune response. Epithelial cells and giant cells are opposed to the surface and encompassed to the foreign body. In these histological features, we can see the foreign body is the suture material. Okay, for those who haven't seen how our suture look like under microscope, this is how it looks like. Okay, and this is the giant cells, multinucleated giant cells surrounding this foreign body, which is the suture material itself. We have these multinucleated giant cells, and as you can appreciate here, in comparison to the previous multinucleated giant cells, the nucleus are more arranged haphazardly. Okay, it does not arrange at the peripheral, but it's more like haphazardly arranged. Okay, this is the type that we call the foreign body multinucleated giant cells. And the foreign body usually found in the center of granuloma. It can be caused, in this case, suture material. It can be caused by metal, and it also can be caused by keratin or hair within your tissue. Okay. Okay, a little bit diagram to show the pathogenesis of granuloma. Characterized by overwhelming cell-mediated cell, you can see the T cells of inflammatory response in association with certain persistent or non-degradable antigen, okay, forming the uh, granuloma. Okay, so there goes the first part of my lecture. I'll see you back in Mycobacterium tuberculosis infection. Thank you.